Every important financial decision starts with the following question. What happens if? What happens if I retire early? What happens if I save more money? What happens if I invest differently? Or what happens if I keep doing the same thing that I'm doing today? The good news is we don't have to guess. We can actually model those decisions before you make them. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Martin Cloutier from Prestige Private Wealth Management. One of the biggest misconceptions about financial planning is that it's all about some sort of report. It isn't. A financial plan is really a decision-making tool. It allows us to compare different possibilities and see how each one of those affects your retirement, your taxes, your estate. What do you leave behind? Let me show you a simple example. Everything you're about to see is based on a fictional client's Gordon Marie, but the planning process is exactly how we work with real people. Here's a client's current plan. As you can see by the red X before the word retirement, their plan is only 85% funded. You may also notice that they still have assets left at the end of the plan, which is age 90 in this example. That's because most of their money is tied up in their home. They actually run out of liquid investments at age 77. And since you can't eat shingles, the only possible solution is to sell the house at that age and move into an apartment. When we run that scenario and add an apartment expense of $1,500 monthly, their plan is 99% successful. That's with an inexpensive apartment. They would have to reduce their spending in order to make their plan work in addition to that, or retire later, or save more. And in this case, we reduced their retirement expenses by $500 monthly and the plan worked. Since Gordon Marie's goal is to stay in their home for the rest of their lives, we need to see how we can make that happen. One option is to save more. In just a few seconds, I can duplicate the plan and adjust their monthly RSP contributions, recalculate everything. And now the plan is fully funded. Right on. They can stay in their home, the plan works till age 90, but this solution requires significant monthly investments that will affect their current lifestyle. So while that's another solution, we need to think about another. So as we go through the financial planning process, we discover that most of their investments are in GICs, not because they can't tolerate risk, but just because they didn't know that other options were available. So after completing a proper risk assessment and walking through market returns, volatility, the potential for market drops, they're actually more comfortable with a growth-oriented strategy. So we created that scenario. This time, instead of increasing their savings, we simply improve how well their investments are performing. The plan works very well, and the projected estate at age 90 increases substantially. But they don't want to die with a projected net worth of approximately $6.9 million. So this opens up the conversation to what they want their retirement to look like. If they want to leave less behind, they should consider spending more. Maybe retiring early. Maybe they travel every year. Maybe they help their children or grandchildren while they're still alive to see the impact. Once the plan is successful, the conversation changes. We're no longer asking, when can we retire? We're asking, what kind of retirement life do you want? That's the real power of scenario planning. What if you wanted to retire 2 years earlier? What if markets performed better or worse than expected? What if you delayed CPP? Or if you wanted to spend more, what if you did that? In fact, I always do a sensitivity analysis for clients. And in this case, they can spend an additional $5,100 monthly in their retirement plan and still remain successful. Life changes. Market returns vary. Emergency expenses come up. Health changes. Tax laws change, etc., etc. So every year you need to update your plan to make sure that it's still aligned with your goals and to make sure that it's still successful. It's not a one and done kind of thing. A good plan should give you options, not paint you into a corner. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who might benefit from the conversation. And if you want to bring the power of what if planning to bear in your case, book a free coffee call using the link in the description below. And that's how we're helping you to live for today while planning for a better tomorrow.